This is what we got next up. 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse charged with multiple homicides after a mass shooting during the Jacob Blake protest. The making of a mass murderer. 17-year-old mass shooter showed up to the Jacob Blake protest and started letting off. It was premeditated. He's been charged with multiple homicides and other felonies. This is a real thing. This really happened. And see, people, they want to tiptoe around this. They don't really want to talk about it. Kyle Rittenhouse is a mass murderer. And y'all gonna let that go over y'all head. We've been saying for so long what's gonna happen when one of these mass murderers show up to the protests. There was a documentary. It was called How to Make a Murderer. Okay, it was about a man named Brandon Dassey. I don't know if y'all saw that. That documentary was brought to you via Wisconsin, where, right, the whole Jacob Blake fiasco is going on in Wisconsin. So I felt it only right to, you understand, come up with this poster. This young mass murderer, right, was created. Before I go on my tirade about this, let me go ahead and get the facts up. Let me go to my display screen. In the Kenosha, Wisconsin fatal shooting is facing multiple homicide charges. Just in case y'all think, oh, look at the title he's trying to put up there. Look at the title. He's facing multiple homicide charges. Kyle Rittenhouse, 17, is accused of a single shooting incident during a night of unrest in Kenosha this week earlier that left 2 people dead and a third person seriously injured. Authorities have said. Do you see how they still try to clean this up? How is it a single shooting incident when 2 people and multiple people end up getting shot? That's a mass shooting. And this news comes from CNN. That's the crazy part. They want to hit y'all with the oopty-wop. This news comes from CNN. They're trying to say that they said the authorities said that it was a single shooting incident during a night of unrest in Kenosha earlier this week that left 2 people dead and a third person seriously injured. So how in the hell is that a single shooting incident? That's a mass shooting. It's a mass shooting. Because tonight we're talking about how you produce a mass murderer. I'll start from these latest incidents and then I'll work my way back. Right, well, let's just start immediately. Immediately after the shooting, this white mass shooter, right, was able to walk past the authorities with his firearm. With the firearm he had just committed a mass shooting with. The authorities did not stop him and he was able to slip away. That's one fact. They were able to apprehend him the following day. But as soon as they apprehended him, the sheriff, and I'm looking for the video now, the Kenosha sheriff got on national television to defend this mass shooter. This is the sheriff. This is what he had to say.
Became engaged in some type of disturbance and persons were shot. Everybody involved was out after the curfew. I'm not going to make a great deal of that, but the point is the curfew's in place to protect. Had persons not been out involved in violation of that, perhaps the situation that unfolded would not have happened. So the last night, a 17-year-old individual.
Now, you might say, oh, Brad, man, that's not that bad what he just said. You're going to say, oh, Brad, man, he just said everybody was out after curfew. Don't try to blame that on him. Well, if you let a racist speak long enough, if you press a racist hard enough, he will always show his cause. He will always show his face. So, right, let's give him 10 more seconds. Let's go. Pay attention.
So the last night, a 17-year-old individual from Antioch, Illinois, was involved in the use of firearms to resolve whatever conflict was in place. The result of it was 2 people are dead.
Now I'm gonna run that back. That's what he said. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. The chief, the person in charge of the department who will be investigating this and taking this case on, right, has basically tried to sell to the people that this was self-defense. This is before the man even got charged. This is before the 17-year-old mass murderer had even got charged. So let me run that back so y'all can hear this man say it for himself. It's not me.
Person's not been out.
It's not me.
In violation of that, perhaps the situation that unfolded would not have happened. So the last night, a 17-year-old individual from Antioch, Illinois, was involved in the use of firearms to resolve whatever conflict was in place. Illinois was involved in the use of firearms to resolve whatever conflict was in place. The result of it was 2 people are dead. This is not a police action. This is not the action, I believe, of those who set out to do protests. It is the persons who were involved after the legal time, involved in illegal activity that brought violence to it.
Said he was trying to resolve an issue. Said he was trying to resolve an issue. A day later, as soon as the DOJ touched down on it, as soon as the FBI put their hands on it, as soon as the case turned federal, that's a fact. As soon as the case turned federal, I showed y'all, I read y'all what happened. He was charged with multiple homicides, mass shooter, mass murderer. How can this be treated properly with this man still in charge? That chief needs to be fired. But it shows a bigger picture. This is what they do. So you have the KKK. Now this is my opinion. Now I'm speaking my opinion. It is of my opinion because I've been out there to Wisconsin. It is of my opinion that in Wisconsin, especially in this area, they are bedridden. They are bedridden with the KKK. You might be looking at the leader when you hear a police chief talk like that, because y'all need to know that it was not uncommon, and it's still not uncommon when you're talking about KKK organizations and white nationalist organizations and racist organizations like that. It's not uncommon for the leaders of those organizations to also be leaders in the community, i.e. mayors, i.e. deputies, i.e. police chiefs. You understand what I'm saying? That's just a hardcore fact. That's a hardcore fact. This is what we in the black community are dealing with. That's one of the ways you make a mass shooter, right? You make them feel comfortable that as law enforcement, you are on their side. So then that way, when they start conjuring up whatever bullshit reason they're going to tell themselves to go out and commit mass murder, right? They're going to say in the back of their mind and in the front of their mind, and guess what? I'm doing the job of the police. I'm helping the authorities. I'm doing the right thing. These people don't deserve to live. These people don't deserve to breathe. So since the police won't do it, I'll do it. And I'll be a hero. When you have law enforcement like this police chief endorsing a solidified mass murder. That's what happened. Make no way around it. So now let me continue. My phone lines will be open, man. How to make a mass murderer, because don't get it twisted. What we saw happen was a mass murder in Kenosha during the Jacob Blake protest. Okay, the man has been charged with multiple homicide. That's a mass murder. Okay, but then you had the police chief come out and endorse this man and try to say that he was just trying to resolve an issue, alluding to the fact that it was self-defense. Now, talk to me about what you think about that, Kareem.
Well, of course, when you have a situation where you have more than one person killed, that constitutes a mass murder. right?
That's a fact.
Now, what they're making an attempt to do is downplay it because of the protesting and the political activity that was the catalyst for that. But if you're going to do that, then you have to go back even further to how this young man was socialized.
Let's go.
And if he was socialized from a perspective of racism, from a perspective of white male chauvinistic dominance, then you have a powder keg. You understand?
That's a fact.
Now they have to defend his actions. So this is why they're being very careful with how they are labeling the event. They're also...
So, I don't mean to interrupt you. You do agree that it was a mass shooting, correct? By definition, that is a mass shooting.
Definitely.
Okay. Continue.
Definitely. How else would you label it?
Arrested and charged with multiple homicides.
Another, right? And he was in multiple locations. You understand? So you wasn't just in one spot. You was in one spot, hit something, travel, hit two more people. Moving. That is mass. That is more than one person in more than one space. Irregardless of the distance of the act, you were mobile. You moved.
That's a mass shooting.
You understand that? But then again, they have to be cautious because the victims were Caucasian. So that makes the legalities of it a little bit different. Now you're activating their own kind when it comes to them getting caught up in this legal war that is being taking place in front of the world. They're being very cautious because they don't want to activate sympathizers to the black cause.
That's a fact.
They don't want to activate and show that racism is going to bite everybody, because that's what it does, whether directly or indirectly. You understand what I'm saying?
And look, here's the thing. Low key, what people don't want to tell you, just adding on to what you're saying, he's going to be celebrated wherever he goes. He's going to receive a certain type of level treatment when he moves through these facilities. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about top treatment from the Aryan Nation. I'm talking about top treatment from COs and wardens wherever this man goes, because now he is what you considered a soldier. He went down for their cause publicly. To that, what do you say?
It could be a double-edged sword with that. He really wasn't affiliated officially with any of the organizations, and he through his action caused them to have legal ramifications. You know what I'm saying? He may be abused. He may have a rough time.
Okay.
You understand? But in the grand scale of things, you are correct. He will be celebrated amongst those who can acknowledge the benefits of the work that he put in. You understand what I'm saying? Just like John Wilkes Booth, when he killed Abe Lincoln, right? He did more harm to their cause than good, and eventually was hunted down.
I got you.
You dig what I'm saying?
I got you.
You know, it depends on how they perceive him, how they look at him, and whether his cause or their cause was further by these actions that really weren't sanctioned.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? This shit is haphazard. And again, our people have to stop becoming casualties in a war where we are not initiating the engagement.
Again, we are talking about here at the Angry Black Man Podcast. We're talking about subscribe to Breadman TV on YouTube right now. We're talking about the making of a mass murderer. How you make a mass murderer. Now, we're starting from previous and we're going back. So we touched on the police chief, right? We touched on the community, right? And so now what I'm about to do is touch on his upbringing, because it's also documented, right? And I got the picture right there. Let me bring it up. For y'all who don't know, that's his mother right there on the top. In her fatigue, also she was there. She was responsible for bringing him to the protest and then driving him home after the mass shooting. His mother, who was also, I want to make sure I do my homework live, I'm going to do it here, but if I'm not mistaken, also a part of law enforcement in Illinois. To that, what do you say?
Well, again, you're talking about different layers to these people and who they are, and who they may be connected to. You understand? If that were you and I, and the situation was reversed, you know that our parents would be charged.
Thank you.
Our pastor would be charged.
Thank you.
God damn it, they might even find some of our kids and charge them for acting in concert.
That's what they do to the Muslims.
Exactly. You understand what I'm saying? Well, you seen what happened with the brother who tried to blow up the trains in New York recently. I believe this was 2018. They went to Jersey, locked up the sister, put pressure on the father, all that, who really had nothing to do with him. They really didn't know what kind of things he was involved in.
Right.
You understand? This is the disparity when it comes to race relations and the justice system and how we're dealt with. We know that. So there's no telling who the mother and the father are connected to. You understand what I'm saying?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that his mother knew what he was coming to do? And if not, do you think that his mother knew what he did when she was driving his ass home?
I'm not sure if she knew that. I won't say that, but I will say that for the fact that she knew he was armed as a minor, 17-year-old. I don't know what the legal age for open carry is, you know what I'm saying, state by state, but she knew he was armed.
Well, he crossed state lines with a weapon.
Okay, so what I'm saying, we cross state lines with a hammer, what we gonna get?
Right.
We're gonna jump right on that. That's 8 off the rip.
I appreciate you checking in, King. Hey, tell him where to follow you and tell him what you got going on before I let you go. Talk to him. This man always got something going on. Talk to him, Kareem.
Media platforms are public. You can catch me here on Instagram at Blizz, BLIZ _ENY Brooklyn. Facebook at Kareem Johnson. YouTube, Kareem, survivor of the 75th Precinct Johnson. Twitter, Kareem Johnson. You know, my government ain't no hiding. I am who I am. I do what I do. I love my people, and the revolution continues. Long live the BLA. You dig what I'm saying? Long live BGF. Salute. This is Black August. Let us not forget all significant acts take place in Black August. Right? We took heavy losses in Black August. You dig, with the loss of both comrades, Jonathan Jackson and George Jackson. Right? You dig? Huey was murdered in Black August as well. You dig? And we made great gains in Black August. Great significant battles were won in Black August. Nat Turner, you know, and everyone else. We could go on and on. So let us remember Black August while we're doing it, especially since we're in the last few hours of it. You know, I'm always watching, you know, Brett Daly. I'm always supporting. Keep doing what you're doing.
Hold up, before you go, I gotta ask you one thing before I let you go. Let me ask you one thing. I got a lot of flack for doing a live about King Face here a few days ago. Okay, I got a lot of flack, and basically, I wanted to put his GoFundMe out there. I wanted to let people know that he was in a coma. He's fighting for his life, and then I put the question out: should the black community forgive, right, and pray for King Face in these times? And I got 50-50. My reaction was 50-50. I just wanted to get your opinion on that, about what you knew about the situation, and see if you can give us any kind of comment, or if you wanted to comment on that situation, Kareem.
I'm gonna tell you like this: the flack is gonna come, you know, whether you're 100% right or 100% wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You dig? My thing, and I don't wish bad on no one, but the brother had his energy and had his essence and spoke very down to black people. So it is what it is. So why would you get flack for that? If he survives, so be it. He's still going to be on his own tangent. And if we're on opposite sides of the fence, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold my tongue or any opinion on it because the man is ill. Fuck out of here. What are we doing? Stand on your square. You know what I'm saying? If you was on opposing sides of it and it was genuine, what the fuck would you care whether he survive or not? He shook hands with this man. You can't hate Trump or claim to hate Trump and not hate those who shake hands with him and smile with him and gesture that he's on their team. Fuck out of here. We not fake. So whatever flack you got, that's the flack that you took the time to hear, pay attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to that bullshit, stand on your square. You stand on mine. He said a lot of foul, disparaging shit about black people all over his platform, various different occasions.
That's a
now
fact.
He's sick, you're supposed to care.
These are all facts.
I'm the wrong one to ask that. I don't give a fuck.
What
was that?
Well, I took a lot of heat. I felt like I was the only person that was willing to have a conversation. Now everybody want to have a conversation. Now it's out there. Niggas really ain't scared. You understand what I'm saying? To talk about it. So salute to everybody.
Stand on your square. Your square is the only one that you ever have to atone to yourself. And if you made an error based on your miscalculation, but come on, that's clear cut, plain as day. Plain as day. It is what it is, man. Ain't no going back from that. None of that. None of that. Those who want to do that, that's on them. Again, people perform for the grant. People perform for social media. People performing for YouTube and Facebook and all that. Don't get caught up in that. Stand on your one, too. It is what it is. It is. We ain't no flack for that. Fuck out of here. We don't do that.
That's what's up, my G. I'm glad you came through and dropped these jewels on them boys. You understand what I'm saying? We finna keep it pushing. We finna put this we finna put this Kyle Rittenhouse to rest, and there we go. That's my guy. That's what we doing at the Angry Black Man Podcast. We taking our time tonight. We taking our time. How to make a mass murderer. The making of a mass murderer. We showed you how the police chief, right, in the town right next door, they're basically part of the same community. He only stayed 30 minutes away. And the police chief came right out and endorsed him. Then his mother, his own blood, brought him to, right, and fro after he killed. We're talking about the makings of a mass murderer. Me personally, I think his mother knew. If his mother didn't know exactly what he was gonna do, I think she knew, because a mother always knows. I think she definitely knew on the way home. All right, let's go, Jay Sean.
Yeah, they need to arrest the mama too, because that's conspiracy.
Talk about it.
She dropped him off. Where did he have the gun at, right? He walking up to a peaceful protest with what kind of gun did he have?
I think it was the AR-15, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. How can you drop somebody off to a peaceful protest and he got an AR-15? He didn't have it in his backpack, and you can't hide an AR-15. He had to have it out. His mom knew that.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because I'm showing a picture right now. Okay, make sure you subscribe to Breadman TV. Make sure you subscribe to Breadman TV on YouTube right now. I'm showing a picture, right, and my title and everything, and there's a picture of his mother. She's armed and fatigued. She also has an AR-15. This is a picture that was taken on that evening, so they both came armed. To that, what do you say?
Right when he got shot, they was planning on, like, they already knew it was gonna be protests. So then I know they sat down. I wasn't there, obviously, but I could just tell.
Mm-hmm.
They sat down and said, when the protest happened, you're gonna shoot that shit up. And like you said, that he had been trained basically to be a mass murderer.
Talk about it.
Because this was just his time right now. You know what I'm saying? Now this is your time to shine, son. And they're gonna try to get him off.
So do you think legally right now that the mother, that they should arrest the mother as well?
They would. If they was black, they would get arrested. Because that's conspiracy. But since, like you said, they in that KKK city, and the police chief is part of that shit, most likely, they ain't gonna even really fuck with him like that. They gonna try to get this motherfucker off. How the hell is you protecting yourself at a peaceful protest? You probably the only motherfucker with a gun.
It's called the Kenosha Guard. Facebook received a lot of flack for not taking down their content off of Facebook. This is basically one of those militia organizations that masquerade as they're for the people. They masquerade as they're for the right to bear arms. And so they're starting to get more...
Right to bear your arms, but you don't got the right to just shoot at people that ain't doing shit to you. You don't like that they protesting, so you out here just killing people? Where the fuck do you get away with that at?
Well, they're becoming more comfortable because they used to do this within their own little realms. You understand what I'm saying? Now they're starting to show up at the protests. You understand what I'm saying? And now they're starting to let the weapons off. And Donald Trump has assisted these organizations the whole way by giving them the green light the whole way. What do you say to that?
See, I'm saying, like, my whole thing with the politics ain't for black people. Black people we gotta realize, none of these politicians give a fuck about us, right? So, like you just said, the Republican Trump, he endorses this shit, the NRA, all that shit. The Democrats do too. So they don't give a fuck about you. Like you did an excellent video on Kamala Harris.
Oh yes,
that was excellent.
Yes.
Broke it down perfectly. So it's the same shit. Now you got people out here want to go vote for Biden and Harris just because they want Trump out of office. Ice Cube said it best though. He put out a good ass video too. Okay, they can get Trump out of office, but what they gonna do for us? Nothing. All they do is switch the plate. See what I'm saying? So I say, like, we should focus. Ain't none of these motherfuckers talking about giving us our reparations that we deserve. None of them. They don't give a fuck. Shit gonna just keep happening. Then one day we gonna wake up all together and be like, you know what? Fuck this. I think that's coming though. By the end of this year or early next year, it's gonna get to a point where we just gonna say fuck the system and we gonna come together. I think that's what all this shit is about. We gonna come together and realize they don't give a fuck about us. We gotta give a fuck about us. Then that's when shit gonna change.
That's a very good take. It seems like they're only interested in calling it a mass shooting when it's white people getting shot down like that. You understand what I'm saying? When their own are getting mowed down, right?
They don't care if we get shot up.
Right. Well, go ahead and let the people know where to follow you. I appreciate your cash out, man. I appreciate you always supporting the machine.
Man, you know I support the show.
Yeah, let the people know where to find you.
Yeah, I'm on here at J. Sean Comedy because I used to be a successful side nigga, so I'm gonna teach people how to be the dude on the side and not get caught. So, Be on the lookout for that at Jason Comedy on Instagram, and I got a book coming out next year too about that.
Okay.
So that's gonna be one of my focus is helping side niggas out.
I'm looking forward to that book. I'm looking forward to promoting it, bro. I appreciate you.
It's gonna be funny too.
I appreciate you coming through, man. You know you always welcome, man. I'm gonna get with you behind the scenes. You take care and be safe, okay?
All right, bro.
Hold it down, my G. Yoshi says that his school classmates, right, came out and said that he, at 17-year-old, the 17-year-old would end up being a school shooter, and they were right. Kyle Rittenhouse, charged with multiple homicide, endorsed by the chief, brought to the protest by his mother, taken home by his mother. A mass shooter. How to make a mass murderer. Y'all think they come out of nowhere, right? Oh, no. These mass murderers have had an audience for years. Yogi just told y'all in a YouTube chat, he said that his school classmates said that he would be a shooter, a mass shooter. Now, why would his classmates say that about him? And this is how you make a mass murderer. And y'all wonder why we be on this race, on these racist people neck so hard. Because at any given day, they can show up to one of our protests. At any given day, they can show up to one of our schools. At any given day, they can show up in our neighborhood. Right? It's bad enough we already dealing with the police. It's bad enough we already dealing with each other. You're tuned in to the Angry Black Man Podcast. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit share, and make sure you hit subscribe.